All right. So, hello, everybody. Greetings. May peace and power elevation be to all of you. This your girl, Tiffany, coming through live in effect. Please make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell and share my channel and all that great stuff whenever I come on. And also share this video. So, we deal with Black History this month, right? And today's topic is going to be about Lowndes County, Alabama, and the political party, which is Lowndes County Freedom Organization. And guess what? At one point in time, they were known as the Black Panther. Before the Black Panthers Party came into existence, this was the Black Panther Party, the original Black Panthers. Okay? And this was founded by Stokley Carmichael in 1965. Now, Huey Newton and Bobby Seale got permission from Stokley to use the name for their social movement they were trying to create. So he okayed it. But just know that the original Black Panthers was started in Alabama, in Lowndes County, Alabama. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to present information and sources that you guys can look up for. And we'll go from there. All right. Okay. So right here, you can check it out on Wiki One, which is the upgraded version of Wikipedia. All right. So right here, here's the introduction. Lowndes County Freedom Organization. The Lowndes County Freedom Organization, also known as Lowndes County Freedom Party or Black Panther Party, was an American political party founded during 1965 in Lowndes County, Alabama. The independent third party was formed by local African-American citizens led by John Hewlett and by staff members of the SNCC, which is Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, under the leadership of Stokley Carmichael, who was Kwame Ture. All right. So it was founded on March of 1965 as the march from Selma to Montgomery took place. Carmichael and some in SNCC who were participants declined to continue marching after reaching Lowndes County and decided to instead stop and talk with local residents. After word spread that Carmichael avoided arrest from two officers who ordered him to leave a school where he was registering voters after he challenged them to do so, Carmichael and the other SNCC activists who stayed with him in the county were inspired to create the LCFO with Hewlett, who since the banning of the NAACP in the state had been active in Fred Shuttleworth's Alabama Christian Movement for Human Rights and other local leaders. All right. And so down here it says, as the Voting Rights Act of 1965 allowed African Americans to register to vote, the objective of the party was to register African Americans in a county that was 80% Black. Hewlett who was LCFO's chairperson, was one of the first two African American voters whose registration was successfully processed in Lowndes County. Local resident and SNCC staff members decided to avoid joining the Alabama Democratic Party because the state party was led by segregationist Governor George Wallace and employed the slogan white supremacy. Yes, hold on, let's go back. For those of you that may not know, local residents and SNCC staff members decided to avoid joining the Alabama Democratic Party. Yes, Democratic. Because the state party was led by segregationist Governor George Wallace and employed the slogan white supremacy, represented by an image of a white rooster. Due to high rates of illiteracy among the Black residents, an image of a Black Panther was adopted to identify party members of LCFO in contrast to members of the all-white Democratic Party represented by a white rooster. The idea for the logo came from SNCC Field Secretary Ruth Howard. All right. So here's the logo right here. Is this the party you want? white supremacy for the right, Democratic of Alabama, or is this Lowndes County Freedom Organization, one man, one vote? There go right here. Okay. Now let's look at the legacy. So under here it says the LCFOs, right? Symbol of Black Panther was later adopted by the Black Panther Party, founded by Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton and other organizations throughout the United States. In the 1970s, the LCFO merged with the Alabama Democratic Party. What a coincidence. This resulted in former LCFO candidates winning public offices. Among them was Hewlett, who was elected sheriff of Lowndes County. Hewlett served in this position for 22 years before serving 3 terms as a probate judge. The work of the political organization was examined in the documentary film Eyes on the Prize, with the episode The Time Has Come, 1964 to 1966. All right. So if you guys have not seen Eyes on the Prize, you need to do so. That's a good show. That show been around since the 80s. But the show was dedicated in honor to the filmmaker who had passed away. So yeah, it's been around for a long time. It's a lot of historical events that have taken place from the 50s all the way on up to the 80s. Okay. And again, it's called The Eyes on the Prize. Yeah, if you guys never watched it before, you will learn from it and you'll appreciate it. So I recommend you guys looking at that. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look at some more information. All right. So I want to present some more sources for you guys to look up. Let's check this out right here. Lowndes County Freedom Organization. All right, so encyclopedia of Alabama.org. Okay. Encyclopedia of Alabama.org. And then right here is the logo. Once again, it says their symbol is the Black Panther, which stands for courage, determination, and freedom. It was chosen as an appropriate response to the racist Alabama Democratic Party symbol, the white rooster, and its slogan, white supremacy / for the right. All right. Okay, so it says it was short-lived, and it was to represent African Americans in the central Alabama Black Belt counties. Though the organization failed to win any election, its influence was felt far beyond Alabama by providing the foundation for the better-known Black Panther Party for self-defense that arose in Oakland, California. Known for years as Bloody Lowndes, the county had a well-deserved reputation for brutality and entrenched racism. Although the population was roughly 80% African American, no Black resident had successfully registered to vote in more than 60 years, as the county was controlled by 86 white families who owned 90% of the land. All right, so that's Stokley Carmichael right here. Okay. All right, so this is the headquarters. As you can see, the headquarters looks mighty strange, right? Looks like it's a little hut. But yeah, that was the headquarters. And it says Alabama election laws require political parties to have an emblem. So the new party chose a crouching Black Panther. Hewlett explained that, like a panther, Lowndes County African Americans had been pushed back into a corner and would come out fighting for life or death. The emblem was seized on by the media, and the LCFO also came to be known as the Black Panther Party. Although the organization was in theory open to anyone, it became a de facto all-Black organization as no white voters wanted to join. All right. So that's Stokley Carmichael released from prison. Okay. So here it is. It says the new party hoped to get enough people to vote in the upcoming 1966 election that African Americans might be elected to office and assist the county's impoverished Black population. SNCC had always focused on education as a means of securing civil rights, and the LCFO followed suit. It organized political education classes and registration drives and published a booklet that informed citizens of the potential problems they could face if they register. The LCFO experienced constant criticism from the Democratic Party as well as the SCLC, which felt that Blacks should vote in the Democratic primary. The recent decision of the Democratic Party to increase its filing fee for candidates to $500 solidified the activists' resolve to form a complete new party regardless of the criticism. All right. It says after much effort, more Blacks were registered to vote than whites. The majority of these new voters, however, were sharecroppers, and they faced hostile responses from land-owning whites through eviction that left them homeless and unemployed. SNCC and LCFO leaders organized a tent city to house the displaced sharecroppers and help them find new work and homes. All right. So down here is the additional resources. All right. So you guys can look up more information. But check this out right here at the very last bottom. It says, though both SNCC and LCFO continue to win the support of Lowndes County African American, the new party could not overcome the deeply entrenched racism of Bloody Lowndes. Each of the 7 candidates lost in the general election in November of 1966, and many African Americans believe it resulted from plantation owners pressuring their Black sharecroppers to vote for white candidates or not at all. After the after the election, SNCC organizers, including Carmichael, who went on to lead SNCC in 1966, gradually drifted out of the Lowndes County. In the 1970s, the LCFO merged with the statewide Democratic Party, and former LCFO's candidates won their first office in the county. All right. Then and goes on to say the spirit of LCFO endured defeat. Similar freedom organization appear across the country. The party slogan of Black Power also spread throughout the nation, and its Black Panther emblem was adopted by activists Bobby Seale and Huey Newton, a SNCC veteran in the Lowndes County effort, who together organized the Oakland-based Black Panther Party for self-defense in 1966. There was no formal relationship between the LCFO and the later organization, and Hewlett and others resent the use of their symbol to respond an organization that encouraged the use of violence. The latter organization became much more well-known than the LCFO for its openly militant rhetoric, but its foundation was the LCFO's principle of self-empowerment and grassroots activism. Okay. So that's the information right there. All right, and then it could be found on the Encyclopedia of Alabama. So each state have an encyclopedia website. So right here, you go to Encyclopedia of Alabama, and you can just put in the information, the source. Okay, so now right here, here's the source from crmvet.org. Let me try to. Okay, so right here it deals with the Lowndes County election fraud. Liberator, December of 1966. So let's read over here. Let me go ahead and zoom it up close. It says the polls open at 8 a.m., but Black folks were there at 7 to make sure that they cast their ballots for those candidates who hopefully would take them out of their fundamental trick bag. Lowndes County, Black power, later to be corrupted by white power. Black folks was anxious and frightened. Remember, we are the second lever. Pull up the Black Panther lever and go home. Ask the Black sister to help you in the booth. So the conversation went for the greater part of the morning. Black folks for the first time felt like citizens. The great day was here in Lowndes County, Alabama. Us folks show are coming out. Folks want to vote. I'm 75 and I feel like I've been born again. The law show want us to vote because there ain't a cloud in the sky. The lady was right. There was not a cloud in the sky. Black folks rode in the trucks and cars to the polls. All of them trying to remember the instruction given them that night before at the mass meeting. Some of the new citizens had to be carried because they couldn't walk. Others had to be led because they couldn't see. Many were around because they had not registered and wanted so desperately to be citizen, to be a man like their neighbors, to be a part of the American dream. Okay. All right. So now let me skip on down here where it says, all right, right down here it says there was no reporters as there were at Wallace headquarters. Was it because the white folks had conspired together and did not want reports to relate to the public their over cheating, their stealing of the election? Is the political struggle of the Black people anything in this country? It is thundering now. There is no place to go, no home, no farms, no land, no clouds in the sky. All right. So it was a beautiful day in Lowndes County, Alabama. God controlled the skies, but the white man determined the clouds, the lightning, the thundering, and the victims. Who controls silver lining? Man, you got your shit? Nah, ain't no cloud in the sky. Election day was over and night began to fall. There were no clouds in the sky, but the white man's clouds began to thicken as the night grew darker. A black man got whipped by a white police. Wait a minute. A black man got whipped by a white cop for challenging. He had to go to the hospital out of town. The people had gathered at the Lowndes County Freedom Organization headquarters to discuss protection for the women, for the children, and especially for the candidates. All right, and this was written in the Liberator in December 1966. Okay, and it says Black Panther candidate. Here's the list of the Black Panthers candidates: Sidney Logan, Coroner Emory Ross, Tax Assessor Alice Moore, Tax Collector Frank Miles, Board of Education Robert Logan, John Henson, and Willie Strickland. Okay, so it was a start. Yep, LCFO. Yes, sir. Yep, it was a start. It was a start for many people. Our people figured at that time, well, since we couldn't be Democrat and the Republican don't really want us, let's start our own political party and let's bring about political issues within our party so we can address it to the mainstream. Now, as of today, you don't have too many Black political parties that's existing. Well, at least not on the mainstream level. So the main choices that you would have is Democrat or Republican. But if you do have an independent party, they're not going to gain that much recognition. And most of the time when you hear about independent party, it's mostly ran by white people. I mean, let's just be honest. But for the most part, the main parties is Democratic or Republican. But for so many years as Black people, we have been taught to vote Democrat, because we have this preconceived notion that if you're voting Democrat, then everything's going to work out for the best. Everything's going to work good for you. You're going to get all the resources that you need. You're going to get the health care that you need. You're going to get the best education quality if you vote Democrat. But we all know that it's not always true. And let's be realistic. It's not always a fact, because it depends on the candidate that you vote for. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't necessarily mean because that candidate is a Democrat that they're going to have your best interests at heart and they don't have other agendas around. Right? All right, so let me pull up another source for you all to check out, for those who are interested. So right here, I am on archive.org. Of course, I always come to this website. Now here, there's a, let me zoom this out. It's called Black Mask, which was written in 1966. It was published in 1966 in November. Okay. So it originally came from www.thesparrownest.org, www.thesparrowsnest.org. All right. So the Black Mask got discussed more into detail about Lowndes County and the Black Panther. So I want to show y'all something on the back of this book right here. I can pull this shit up. Hold on. Okay. So right here in the back of the book, as you can see, that's a picture of the Black Panther. It says power conceded. Nothing without a demand. Find out just what any people will quietly submit to, and you have found out the exact measure of injustice and wrong which will impose upon them, and these will continue till they are resisting with either words or blows, or with both. For many years, Black people in the Black Belt of Alabama have been the victims of a vicious system of political, economic, and social exclusion. Political exclusion is maintained in many ways: the denial of the right to vote, service on juries, access to political office, and by naked brutality acting under color of law or just a plain white sheet. All right. It says, although Black people are a numerical majority of Lowndes County, Alabama, the Democratic Party only provides them with white candidates who will adhere to a policy of white supremacy. The Lowndes County Freedom Organization wants a politics that is responsive to the needs of the poor, responsive to the needs for education, decent law enforcement, paved roads, decent housing, good medical facility, and the things they hope for themselves and their children. So on November the 8th, Black people in Lowndes County will have a chance to cast ballots for candidates representing these interests. These candidates running under the symbol of the Black Panther, if elected, will be in position of control. These will be Black people in control, seeking to use the county governing mechanism for the benefit of all persons in Lowndes County. This political effort is significant for Black people around the country and not just in Lowndes County. This effort needs the support of all Black people. So down here it says, what can't you do to help? The Lowndes County Freedom Organization will need money for gasoline to make sure that everyone gets out to vote on November 8th. Candidates need money to help in canvassing of the county between now and November 8th. The word needs to be spread about what's happening in Lowndes County. Vote fraud or violent assault against the Lowndes County Freedom Organization on election day is a real possibility. Some form of action may be necessary. You may be called on to help. A victory for the Lowndes County Freedom Organization is a victory for us. The whole history of the progress of human liberty shows that all concessions yet made to her have been born or earnest struggle. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom yet desperate agitation are men who want crops without piling up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the roar of its many waters. This struggle may be a moral one or it may be a physical one. And it may be both moral and physical, but it must be a struggle. Okay, so this was the address down here, Lowndes County Freedom Organization. It was in Hansville, Alabama, and then you got the SNCC organization down here. And SNCC is still around to this day, okay? SNCC is still around to this day. The SCLC is still around as well. So they are one of the few Black organizations that was around in the 50s and the 60s that's still operating today. Okay, so yeah, they're still around. Hello, sir. How you doing? Hello. Let me look up the book, Bloody Lotus. Let's see, Bloody Lotus. All right, so anyways, there's a book called Bloody Lotus that goes into more stories about Lowndes, Alabama. All right, let me post up the image. All right, so that's the name of the book, Bloody Lotus, Civil Rights and Black Power in Alabama's Black Belt. Hassan Kwame Jeffries, move on over or will move on over you. All right. So that's the information that's available. And if you guys want to look it up, you guys can just type the name of it. I'm quite sure you can find it on Amazon. Of course, more than likely, you probably would be able to find it. So, Bloody Lotus. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you also want to share this video, please do so. And if you want to be able to send something to the Cash App, which is at the bottom of the screen, you can do that as well. So please make sure you share the information, especially during this Black History Month. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, and or whatever your time zone is. I don't know everybody's time zone, but I will reconnect with you guys later. Okay, and for those of you just coming in, you're going to have to watch the video from the very beginning. And thank you guys that has been subscribing to my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. This channel is still growing and there's still a lot of work to do, but I really appreciate it a lot. Thank you. All right, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, may peace be upon all of you. Please be safe during this pandemic. Do not think for a second because there's the vaccine that's out that you're automatically safe. All right. So you still got to play it safe. You still got to be careful out here in these streets. Okay. Until then, y'all take it easy, loves. All right. Peace. Until next time.